again? Have something that you can what?
Look up something.
What you need to look up.
So there's this background that lets you put mastered sprites in it. And the thing is bugging and I can't. I have sprites in my inventory that are mastered and it's not letting me put them in there.
Hold on. I got something.
Here's a new error card.
Mm-hmm. Right now, so I can get these messages sent out.
Mm-hmm.
Come here.
Oh,
I can do two things at once.
I can type it.
Just talk it. Just talk it and ask it whatever you need. Check, check, check. Hey, let me get y'all right. You can keep it in there. Just keep asking it. Do whatever you need. Hey, that'll give it some use. Hey, shut the door. Sit down. What's out? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. It's good to be in here with y'all back again for another Mindful Mondays. Did you miss me? To be honest, I missed it. Every time I do like a off week to where I'm not hosting Expansion Pack, it's kind of like I be like, I like this time. I'm chilling. I was working. Hold on, let me turn my light up a little bit. I was working the whole week. It wasn't like a actual week off. I'm gonna be working next week too as well. Well, I'm gonna be working all this week, and then I'm gonna be working next week too as well. So it ain't like it's like a completely off time. So turn your TV down, Dan, or put your headphones in too. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Hold on, I'm looking at myself 17 times on the same screen. Hold up. Sorry, y'all. For those who caught that sooner than I did. But anyway, let me get y'all a little bit more. Well, I think that should be our motivation. Listening to Earl was our motivation. But nah, we got to get motivation for my mans and them out there. So we'll do like 8 minutes of it, maybe 7 minutes of it, then we'll get into our topic for the day. I hope everybody had a good summer vacation. Summer vacation. Ooh woo. Twitch clip that. All right. me see. Motivation for men. There you go. For my mans. I was about to type for my mans in them. All right, y'all, let's go.
Some CEOs face struggles and they don't have people to bounce it off of. They're
engage in the world. Go find out some new things. Learn some new things. Whether that's the physical frontier or the mental frontier. Take more risk there. Start with what do you have an innate ability to? What's in your DNA? You know, I wanted to play basketball for years. I wanted to dunk. It ain't my DNA, bro. I'm never gonna dunk. No matter how hard I worked at it, I was never gonna dunk. It's what I wanted to do. So look at what do you have an innate ability for? And then what then are you willing to pursue an education for, work for, hustle for? That for which you have an innate ability for. And if we're gonna talk about making a living, is that which you have an innate ability for and now have educated yourself, your talent, to have a talent for, is that and how can that be something that the world demands? Because it's supply and demand. Boy, if you can end up doing something you got an innate ability for, plus you become really good at it and you learn the craft and the world demands it and you can supply it, there you go.
Hey, wrap
But
it up, put it in the back.
some of us have innate ability, but we're not willing to, we don't work for it. We don't improve our skills. We kind of rely on what we got and it kind of become middle of the field and sometimes I don't have the ability for it, but I'm gonna learn a new craft and I'm gonna hustle at it. And then actually, when we get good at something, we kind of can start to go, oh, I didn't know I loved it. I didn't like this anymore, but I like it now. It starts to feel good to do over and over. I was lost, man. I'm lost. I'm writing 16-page letters to myself and I'm returning them with a 17-page letter.
About what?
Huge existential questions mixed in with, oh, everything's going great, trying to talk myself into keeping my head up, you know what I mean? And I said, okay, if I can't do what I want to do, I'm gonna quit doing what I've been doing. Cut the shit, McConaughey.
Let's go.
Quit giving yourself that out, that parachute, even though you may have it. I needed to strong arm myself, put my damn hands on the wheel, look in the mirror and go, it's on you. Because it is time to become a man. Walk forward, peripheral vision, get it. Own yourself, walk forward with more courage, and start becoming the man you want to be instead of acting like it and putting it off. Work ethic, hustle, hustle, hustle. I can't, I hate, and lying were three things that you got in trouble for. So what did I learn from don't say can't? That if you're unable to do something, you can, even if you can't pull it off, you can go find help, which means you were just having trouble. What did I learn from getting a butt whooping for saying I hate you to my brother? Well, what I was learning is the antonyms to those words. Because saying I can't, lying, and saying I hate you were bringing me pain.
Right.
So the opposite must bring pleasure, right?
Right.
Tell the truth.
That's my guy.
Love.
That's my guy.
And believe that you can. Those were the values how I remember them getting instilled in me. And to this day, I still have them. Trying to
Hey, hold up. Listen to me, y'all. That right there, it just changed my whole day. We're going to stop right there. For the motivation for today. I got a little bit behind with sending out my invites and connecting everything. It's a Monday, you know what I'm saying? So, but that was deep right there. Very, very, very. So today it's Mindful Monday. And what we talking about today is working. I felt like this was a very much, sometimes on Expansion Pack, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes on Expansion Pack, I just be chilling. Dog. I don't really be like trying to do too much. You see what I'm saying? But other days, I'm like, I'm in here, dog. Like, I need to say this, I need to say that, I need to put this out here, I need to put that on the table. You see what I'm saying? And hold on, let me make sure I got all my chats up on the screen. All right. And this one of them days. This is one of them days. You feel me? I ain't gonna sing nothing else from that song. Just know. Twitch, clip that. So, what is working? Am I working right now? Excuse me. Was I working earlier? What is working? That's what we talking about today. And we ain't here to put no definition on it. Not in the strictest sense at all. What we here to do is talk about it. Because we all know what it is. You don't need no extra, like, kick or common sense boost for me to tell you what working is. All you need to do. Did somebody just chat with me? I think somebody just hit the chat on me. Anyway, all you need to do is just know and take your common understanding and go from there. That's all we doing. So, with us talking about working, I'm a go first. It's like a freestyle right here, so I'm gonna go first. You're working. Hold on, let me stop. Let me slow down. You're working when there is some sort of progression being made for or towards a newer thing or something else. Now, let's break what I just said down into smaller terms. You working when you helping or moving something along. So, prime example. Hey, the word prime. Prime example. Amazon Prime. You get what I'm saying? Amazon workers, y'all working. Y'all know what working is. You working. You see what I'm saying? You moving that box down that line. You getting that thing from here to there. All right? And guess what? I got my package. All right? So that's working. Yes, I do have on a shirt under here. I got on a shirt. But that's working. Now, am I working right now? Yes. Because I'm moving our thoughts, the conversation, and also this show that I've curated from one point to the next. All right, helping it grow a little bit. Now, if I was to spin, I used to spin. Let me give you a good example of working that's just you just working. It ain't necessarily that you got a paycheck after that, but you working. You see what I'm saying? Now, back in the day, when I was younger, I would sit in the studio for 8 hours, mixing beats, making beats, recording, you name it, all of these things, right? Now, after that time, did I get paid? Maybe. But was I moving my business along? Yes. So, for every beat that I made, it was helping the business to grow. For every lyric that I wrote and recorded, it was helping the business to grow. It was even helping my life to grow because I got some deeper understandings from, when I get on the mic and you know what I'm saying? I got some deeper understandings from that. So there's nothing that you or anyone else or anybody could take away from me on that. I'm good, if you ask me. Can't say, because you didn't sell 1 million records, you wasn't working. Now let's scale this up again. Now you also have that young man, young woman out there that's a graphic designer, and they got these programs. They parents or they themselves went and got a job or did whatever they did just to get enough money to buy some of these programs that you can use on your computer or whatever to make stuff. All right. And they spend all of their time in their room making stuff, designing it. Hey, look at this, guys. You know, even making stuff for people sometimes and maybe get a couple dollars. Is that working? Yes. It's graphic design. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to give you one last example. You got the kid, young man or woman, young little boy or girl sitting in their room playing a game all day long. One day, maybe, they decide to turn on their Twitch, turn on their YouTube. They old enough. I'm playing with the colors, y'all. I'm sorry. They old enough, you see what I'm saying, to be able to do that, to be able to get on there and stream. They start getting followers, they reading and doing all of that, and they end up, I guess you could say, making it to where they can make some money. Are they working? Yes. Yes. The reason I'm saying that is because we got to let the doors open in some different areas and in some different ways for some people to be able to shine. It's not fair, and whatever that word means, we ain't looked it up or nothing, to just stop what you are good at. Like, I'm glad Matthew McConaughey just said that. It's not fair, or whatever you want to call it, to just stop what you good at because you say it's not profitable. Somebody, your parents won't look at the work like you would look at the work. Now, there's some industries we know about that ain't really what you running around telling everybody you work in every day, around in certain areas or in certain crowds of people. But even that, if you passionate about it, and keep it clean. You know what I'm saying? Keep it clean. Don't be out here in one world or the next world or the other world jumping around, I guess. You know, and do your best at it. So let's look at our first video for the day. I ain't gonna keep on talking too much longer. Let's look at our first video for the day. What people thought about work back in the 80s, 90s. Work in the 90s. Let's see the 90s. We probably should do 2000s. Let's do 2000s. How was working in the 2000s? How was it? Let's see. Nah, we don't want to see that. I want to see jobs. Let's see job market. Job market in let's see 2010, since they messing me up on what I'm typing in. I ain't say 2026. Hold on. Let's see. These all from a year ago. Hey, Gen Z, they say y'all unemployable. Hey, 3 weeks ago. Well, I guess we might as well look at the job market now. Dang. I mean, you ain't giving me no option. But to say, oh, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. I ain't even asked that. Okay, job market now. I ain't asked none of that. Let's see what's up, man.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Say, what's in the
just by
background?
thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete
you mean?
AI creation platform.
I wouldn't necessarily be paranoid about it, but I also wouldn't be comfortable. See, the work environment is changing really fast right now, and the economy's acting kind of strange. And if there's one thing that I would tell anybody who is asking me whether or not they should be worried about their job,
Oh yeah,
is that just
CV.
don't get too comfortable in any single role. Always assume that the call is coming, either a recruiter with a better opportunity, which we should be ready for, or a manager with bad news, which we should also be ready for. And frankly, what you should be doing to
Jeez.
prepare for both situations isn't really all that different. So let me tell you what that actually looks like. But first, I want to show you some data that just came out that I want you to see. So there's this organization called the Conference Board, which surveys roughly 150 CEOs from major companies every single quarter.
What up,
and these are
Isaiah?
big companies.
I know,
These are
right?
companies that you've heard of. They're household names. You probably use their products. Now, last quarter,
Thanks for
so this
stopping
is
back through,
first
bro.
quarter of 2026, those CEOs were feeling pretty decent. The score was 56, which is optimism outweighing pessimism. Now, this quarter, that score dropped to 47, and anything below 50 means that there's more pessimists than there are optimists in the economy. Now, that's a 12-point drop in a single quarter. But here's the number that I actually want you to pay attention to, because for the first time in the history of this survey, at least this one in particular, more CEOs are planning to cut their workforce than grow it. So that's 31% planning to reduce headcount in the next 6 months, while at the same time, only 28% plan to add people. So that's kind of a bit of a problem. Again, this has never happened before in this particular survey. In addition to that, 40%.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask this question. Which part of this, which end of this deal are you gonna be on? Which part of this are you gonna see yourself to? Because I find it hard to see myself like just getting counted like doop. You know what I'm saying? Duck, duck, goose. Duck, duck, goose. Okay, he gone. Duck, duck. You know what I'm saying? And that's tough on me right there. It's really tough on me because you're not sitting at the CEO position. I'll let you know, man. I'll let you know, Isaiah, that you're not sitting at the CEO position. You probably not sitting at the manager position of the entire region. You see what I'm saying? But if you are, even those spots and those, I just want to take a step back and highlight and showcase how much networking and how close together we all are and how much we all need each other and how much we all do for each other, which within our social system. To be honest, your manager technically lived down the street from you. His manager live up the street from him. And then his boss lives downtown. And he moves in and out of the city and he got a couple houses or whatever. And in all of that, we are talking about, unless we not, and maybe in some instances we ain't, all of these people have a heart and a mind and a brain and some friends. And I would hate to think that with us having so much of these things in common, that we just, I don't know, can't figure it out. We can't all win. Nope. That's apparently how it go, because it ain't controlled by a man's hands, apparently. Let's keep on watching this. I don't know, just something about me not being a CEO or being able to cut 30% of my workforce tomorrow made me feel bad because I don't have a workforce.
Same CEOs expect the economic conditions to worsen over the next 6 months, so it's really not forecasted to get any better. Now, 3 months ago, that number was
what
only
up,
13%.
Stacy? Good to see you.
So I've been doing this thing for roughly the last 20 years, so I've been around the block a little bit, and I want to be straight with you about what I'm seeing. The job market is more difficult than it is normally, and that goes without saying. I think people looking around and experiencing it themselves, this is really nothing earth-shattering, but this is one of the rare times that I've seen hiring sentiment slip below layoff sentiment. And what concerns me the most is that we've had other periods of time in the last 20 years where things have gotten really rocky, but we've always recovered and came back out of it, and usually we're better
Hey,
for it.
that's right.
But
Yeah,
this
he
time
do.
seems a little different. Ever since 2020, it does not feel like we're
appreciate
coming
them
out of
likes,
this and
y'all.
going and returning
Thank
back
y'all.
to normal. In fact, I feel like this is the new normal. Now, pay attention to what companies are actually doing right now. Not what the leadership is saying in the all hands on deck meetings
Right.
and the press releases and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm talking about what they're actually doing. And I think these are things that we should be paying close attention to, because right now the actions are telling a different story than what the official narrative
I don't even
is.
think y'all
So
can
in other
hear.
words, they're saying all these things
See,
like
y'all couldn't
everything is
even hear.
okay. We're weathering the storm. I know my own CEOs of companies that I've worked for before they've had major layoffs didn't either mention anything was coming, or they would sit in these all hands on deck meetings with these very anxious employees, and they would say things like, we're just weathering the storm, we're just waiting for things to kind of settle down, we're just going to do some initiatives to clean up some things, it's a chance for us to kind of recalibrate. But there was never a mention of layoffs or any of that kind of
Right.
stuff. And every single time, they probably have the layoff list sitting at the podium with all the names that they're
With
about to axe.
everybody.
And unfortunately, being in the recruiting department, we know it better than anybody else. We're the first to get hired, first to get fired. So if you want a real early warning sign, watch what happens to corporate recruiters at your company. Now, I know it's everybody's favorite pastime to wish that the recruiters would get laid off or fired. It's easy to hate the guy that you think is the gatekeeper. I have my own opinion on that. There's a lot of misconceptions. I talk about it ad nauseum in this channel, but that seems to be everybody's wish until it
Hold on,
actually
I gotta put
happens.
the audio
And
back
then
in
suddenly,
Yeah,
there's no
I know.
jobs to be filled.
I just
There's
realized
nobody to
that,
call.
Stacy.
Or the AI that's replaced them won't give you the time of day because it doesn't see the experience you have that's slightly adjacent to what we're hiring for, but can't tell the difference. Now, here's something that a lot of
Hold on,
people,
I'm about to
based on the
figure
comments
it
that I
out.
see, have absolutely no clue or just don't realize or refuse to want to acknowledge. A good recruiter, and there are good recruiters out there, a good recruiter advocates for you. I've done it hundreds of times with candidates that I've talked to
Where's the
that I saw
audio?
something in that maybe didn't jump off of their resume. The candidate who doesn't check every single box on paper, but I've seen enough or heard enough, or maybe the way
This
they
just made
presented
me mad.
themselves was a lot more energetic than what the piece of paper suggested, and I knew
Oh,
that
here
they
it
could do
is.
the job. I
Got
just
it.
got a gut feel that they were a good fit for the role.
There
So
we
I
go.
would go to the hiring manager and I would make a case for them. I would walk through why this person deserved a conversation, and usually I could convince my hiring manager.
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna make sure I got the audio right on here. Cause TikTok is not right. I can't believe I had that sitting here the whole time. Monitor off. I had that sitting there the whole time and didn't even know that nobody could hear it. Sucks. Y'all just chill right there for a second.
At least give the person a shot.
Oh my gosh, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I just don't want it to play twice. How would I do this? Okay. Okay, it's capturing the audio, right? But I don't want the audio to go back out through this. I gotta figure this out. I gotta think my way through this, y'all. Primary microphone. General sentence. Monitors off. Monitors off, but why is it playing twice?
A call, even if it was a cursory 30-minute phone call screen. I could.
You're an idiot. Alright, I gotta do it the obvious way, because this thing wanna play with me. All right. Take that off. Put this on. Do this. Do that. I'm sorry, everybody who on Twitch or anywhere else that's watching. And if no one is watching at all, good. If you're watching, let me know. Type in the chat. Let me know you're watching. If you're not, then good. Because I had a little technical. And still can't. What are you doing to me? I could have sworn I had the audio and everything good. I'm not deleting that. Who out there on TikTok still watching? Type in the chat. If you out there on TikTok still watching. If not, I'm out. I'm going to drop TikTok and I'm going over to just Twitch and all of the other things that I was streaming on because this is annoying. I stopped everything. And ain't nobody even there. No. You know why, Isaiah? Because you didn't answer my question. You didn't even let me know it wasn't no sound. Yeah, I'll tell him. Hey, who are y'all playing with? Okay. If y'all see any invites, it's from Isaiah. He said he wants y'all to play with him. But if y'all don't accept it, that's on y'all. No, you good. Don't worry about it.
Do that because I had credibility with my teams. I've even been known to give more than one candidate a helpful little hint. Little birdie told me before you walk into your interview with the hiring manager of you should probably focus on this thing and less of that thing. This happens in recruiting all the time, and I think.
Say that again. Man, they be getting banned and stuff, so I don't know, man. Names be changing.
A lot of people don't give the recruiter credit for that, or they don't see it actually happening behind closed doors. The thing is that AI doesn't do that for you. You either have the exact keywords or you don't. There's no shade of gray. There's no transferable skills that make it through the algorithm. There's no trust me on this one. There's no, hey, you should give this guy a shot. You either match it or you don't. So when you see recruiters getting laid off from companies, that's a real signal that you should be paying attention to, because if the company is eliminating the people whose singular job it is to find talent, that means that they're usually done hiring, or at least hiring is coming to a screeching halt. And usually what happens after that is they start laying people off. So watch what companies do, not just what they say, and be mindful of that canary in the coal mine. Now, this hiring sentiment that has shifted with CEOs, everybody likes to believe that it is an AI story. In fact, that's all the rage. Every single time I open up mainstream media, I see article after article about how these AI data centers are coming in and this company is eliminating jobs based on AI and blah, blah, blah. And AI is absolutely a part of that. It's in the headlines. You can't deny it. But that's not the whole thing. Take Amazon, for example. They cut roughly 15,000 corporate roles, primarily middle management layers across their entire corporate structure as part of an efficiency initiative tied directly to AI investments. And to be clear, this wasn't in their fulfillment centers necessarily, but it was more in their corporate offices, managers, directors, analysts, people sitting in offices making decisions. And now AI is doing part of what they did, the forecasting, the planning, the customer service escalations, a lot of that automation. Now, they didn't go after warehouse workers first. They actually went after the corporate layers, in particular middle management. And that.
All right. So I didn't want to get too far into what he was saying about just AI or whatever. So my point and my angle on it is not just working and doing a job. My angle on it is, what is it that you are going to do? You see what I'm saying? AI can be used for good things, but people use it for bad things mostly. Well, I'll have to say yes. Yes. But it's a angle to what I'm actually trying to say about all of this. What is working anymore? Because I thought about it. I used to write them papers in high school and college. I used to write them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I used to write papers. Now you can get a whole paper written. You better not. What does you better not mean? Now, working could be any part of this conversation. You could be doing anything. You could be sweeping the floor. You could be cleaning the toilet. You could be doing anything to work right now at this stage. But the fulfillment part of it comes in after. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really concerned about talking fulfillment. I'm just talking working, man. All right. Now, we boxed in now. We boxed in because going and asking somebody for something means that they're going to give it to you. You can make it on your own, or you can take it from them. Those are your options. And we boxed in because we aren't doing one of those things. We asking them, okay, you can ask, and there are networks of people. That's why that video was just really important. There are networks of people that aren't needed no more. And it's not one person. It's networks of people who aren't needed anymore. And people just get a whole essay done in a minute now, right? It's a whole network of people, like Bob and all his friends, Kathy and Katie and all of them, that's no longer needed by these organizations that they've been working for the whole entire time. Now, what does society look like after that? I would have to say it's a new definition of working. I'm going to tell you that much. A new definition of getting what you need out of life, getting taken care of. You know, it's a new day on all of that because it was easy. It's easy to go stock that shelf at work and then go home, and then your check better be there when it's payday type thing. But what if that is no more? What is work? So that's why, for me right now in this very moment today, this topic was much needed and is much needed because I'm redefining that for myself. And it's gonna be passed to my kids. Tell them, hey, look, this is what, and this is not. This is, you know what I'm saying? Let's get another one. Right. Hey, let's put one with the filter on there. Appreciate you for listening, Isaiah. That's from last year. Okay. We should watch that, but we're not. I ain't gonna lie, I want some good videos. I don't want just Oh, there you go.
Moment thinking, oh my God.
Let's see what my man's.
We're proud to
see what my
introduce
man's
our
talking
first
about.
retail investment opportunity, available on the Lightstone Direct platform. Our latest offering is called OKC Outlets, a 394,000 square foot open air outlet center anchored.
God, I've just made myself some money from just creativity. Then you.
We're proud to introduce our
That's
first
my guy.
retail investment opportunity, available on the Lightstone Direct platform. Our latest offering is called OKC Outlets, a 394,000 square foot open air outlet.
Of all of your outside the box thinking, pay your bills. You need money. You do not need a 9-to-5 job to pay your bills. You need money. You need income. But the problem for most people is that they have no creativity because the suppression through your early ages, going through school, college, university, and then into the workplace, has got rid of all of your outside the box thinking, and you just follow everyone else like a wage slave, like sheep. So look, trigger warning, this video is definitely not for those who cannot understand what I'm saying, or at least explore and be open-minded to the fact that you do not need a job. I mean, that's the truth, you don't. You need to learn sales, you need independence, you need to be in thrive mode, not survive. But anyway, we're going to get into that. Basically, you need to stop being an NPC, but most people around the world are NPCs. They follow the herd, right? So look, you need income, you need to make money, you don't need a job. But here's the truth. Most of society as a whole, they go through the education system, they get told that they need a job, they go into a job interview, the suppression increases where you're told, you know, you need to do this task and it's going to be this amount of hours a week and you'll get paid this amount, and you're told. Nothing's discussed. There's no fair exchange for the time that you're going to give away. The time that you will never get back. You are told what you are going to do. Everything about a job is assigned to you. So you stop thinking for yourself. You lose all independence and you become dependent. And there's a great quote. A man that does not own his time will never be free. So it's never about how much money you make, but the corporate world wants you to think it is about the amount of money that you make. The higher you climb throughout the corporate ladder, the bigger the title, you know, the badge of honor on LinkedIn, you know, allowing you to change your job title and description. I'm now general manager, regional manager, executive assistant, director. Okay, you think that that is what we should be celebrating. And what's really backwards is if someone does step outside the norm, outside of a job, to be creative, to think for themselves, to start innovating, bring in their own money, you know, people point and judge. Oh, you're starting a business. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's
I
risky.
wouldn't do that.
Which
That's
leads me
my
on to my
guy.
next point. Never take advice from someone that isn't doing or has done what you want to
I
do.
want to do.
Because here's the thing about a 9-to-5 job.
I feel that.
It is rewiring your belief system. Because if you disagree with me right now, it's not even that you have a different thought process to me. I'm actually challenging probably your parents' beliefs, which have been instilled in you. Or I'm challenging right now your social circle, because people are so easily influenced and they don't think for themselves, which is why we have 99% employees around the world and you only have 1% which are the entrepreneurs. Because people are easily influenced, which is not a good thing, by the way. People think that you need a mortgage. People think that you should be grateful and, you know, it's a privilege to have a job. In fact, Mac, can you just pop up a screen cap here of someone who said to me in the comments section, have a read of this, it's a privilege to have a job. Have a read of that. How
let me see that. I wanna see that.
brainwashed is that individual? Have a read of that.
Commented. Hold on. And that's why my eyesight ain't zoomed in.
How
Oh, Lord. And that's why more and more companies will replace you with AI. Attitude like this is bad. I really dislike people who lack integrity. Having a job is not a right. It's a privilege. If you ever suffered unemployment and God answer your prayer, and you know what I mean. That's what's up.
It's a privilege to have a job. Have a read of that. How brainwashed is that individual? I mean, that is mad. Could you imagine being grateful for giving away your time for an unfair exchange of pay? You're not valued. You are replaceable in a heartbeat, but yet you're still grateful for a job. In fact, take a look, right? Have a look at some of the pop-ups on the screen now with different comments. We've got some really good ones where people have woken up, where some of my content has inspired people. This lady has gone on where people have woken up.
I told my mom I wanted to start a YouTube channel and eventually quit too. Okay, she didn't understand. She said, even if I make enough money to never work, I need a job because people need to work. And I said, maybe some people, but not me. If I had enough money to live off YouTube, why would I ever do a 9-to-5?
Where some of my content has inspired people. This lady has gone on to build her business and she's getting out of her job. And we've got some other people here who believe that having a job is great. And then we've got someone else who you'll also see on screen who has said the only thing hard work and working for someone else has got them is a broken body. And that's the God's honest truth, right? Is that most people are in this horrific survival mode. Look at what happened during, I'll say, Cucumber 19. Do you remember that god-awful time during 2020, right? And the world shut down. What did people do? They went into survival mode. Everyone stopped thinking for themselves and they just listened to everything on the news. Go get your jabs, do this, put on a mask, don't do that, you can't go out. And 99% of people did exactly as they were told because they're in survival mode. And that is what's so, to me, so shocking and scary, because I carried on as normal, by the way. I still went out, I still went to the gym. I didn't get any of the jabs, by the way. You know, I'm sure I'm going to trigger some people by talking about that, but I didn't. You know, I'm pure, I'm clean in my opinion, because I thought for myself. You know, I looked, I'm healthy. You know, I'm looking around me, everything was still okay. Like I'm aware that the news is total propaganda, so I didn't conform.
That's my guy. Why we conform. Who? No. Hold on, Dan. If you don't know, then all right, but that probably did hit hard on some people. And I just want to keep on saying my angle on it is simply what it is. What is it? And if you're not thinking for yourself, then you can't be working for yourself. And I'm not here to tell you that you should be working for yourself outside of, you know, trying to get yourself in a good way. Yeah, bruh. Yeah. Instead of, outside of trying to get yourself into a good way, but helping to define it. I watch some of these videos just to try to help define what I think it is. And honestly, I think it's thinking for yourself enough to do the work that you would like to do. All right. We caught in a whirlwind right now with most of the things that we could possibly choose to do. So choose wisely. So this has been another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. We're going to go ahead and wind this thing on down right here. We got like 5 minutes left. So I usually play a song at the end So what I'm going to do is play a song. Y'all listen to this song. Don't leave before the song go off. All right. Hold on, I gotta. Okay, here we go. I remember his name. All right, y'all. Y'all listen to this. Y'all listen to this. I'm gonna get on up out of here tomorrow. Hey, actually, drop a comment down below if you on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment down below and tell me how you feel about working. How do you feel about work? What is work? What do you think? Because I really want to know. I want to get some interaction. And if I don't get no interaction, it's okay. I talk to myself about it. And then I come up with the next topic. So tomorrow is Tech Tuesday. Y'all know that's my favorite day. I have something for you, for your mind on Tuesday. Finding Our Way Wednesday, Healthy Mental Thursday, and Fun Fact Friday. So y'all get in here. Don't forget to drop into the chat on my live stream marathon going on right now, the back to school marathon. We ain't going off until they go back to school. I'm dad for another school year. Ooh. That was just me playing around, having fun. But yeah, y'all drop into the chat. Let me know what's up. Only on Twitch, though. So if you ain't got your Twitch up, you better get your Twitch up because it's only on Twitch. So I'm going to get up out of here. Them days again is, well, thanks for joining me for another Mindful Monday. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow for Tech Tuesday. Hopefully on Finding Our Way Wednesday, and then Healthy Mental Thursday and Fun Fact Friday. So I'm going to be in here all week. Y'all better get with me. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up in the Discord if you feel like it. I'll get y'all some office hours. I'll teach y'all everything that I know and everything that I'm doing right now. And y'all listen to the song. Don't leave before the song go off. I'm going to holler at you. Peace. Yeah, you know I'm going to say it.
Courage in our society is not cowardice.
You know I'm going to say it. Say it with me now. You ready? This is DGTA TV. Uh-huh. Chill. Let's go.
Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. Conformity. People acting like everyone else. Without knowing why, without knowing where they're going. Now think of it. In America right now, there are over 14 million people 65 years of age and over. And about 13 million of these 14 million are broke. They're dependent on someone else for life's necessities. Now, we learn to read by the time we're 7. We learn to make a living by the time we're 25. And yet, by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that has ever been known. Why? We conform. We conform. We conform. The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95% who don't succeed. Now, why do these people conform? Well, they don't know, really. These people believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed people. A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked this question. Why do you work? Why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say everyone goes to work in the morning. And that's the reason they do it. Because everyone else is doing it. conform. Why we conform. We conform. We 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 conform.